Hi, I'm Jordan Hernandez, and today we're going to be talking about conditional statements. Conditional statements. A conditional statement is a statement of the form if A, then B, that can be written in if-then form. An example of this is teenagers are 13. When put into if-then form, it becomes, if you are 13 years old, then you are a teenager. Hypotheses and conclusion. So when you are finished putting the conditional statement into if-then form, you have two parts to the statement, the hypotheses and the conclusion. The hypothesis of our conditional statement is, you are 13, and the conclusion is, you are a teenager. So that is how you do the hypotheses and the conclusion with your conditional statement in if-then form. Converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So when you have your conditional statement in if-then form, there are different ways to order your hypotheses and your conclusion, and are called the converse, inverse, and the contrapositive, and you have to name if the statement is true or false. Converse. To have the converse, you have to switch the hypotheses and the conclusion. So the converse of the conditional statement we have is, if you are a teenager, then you are 13 years old. That statement is false. Inverse. To have the inverse, you have to take the conditional statement and put the word not in the hypothesis and in the conclusion where it makes sense. The inverse of the conditional statement we have is, if you are not 13 years old, then you are not a teenager. That statement is also false. Contrapositive. To have the contrapositive, you have to find the converse, but after you find that, you put not where it makes sense. The contrapositive of our conditional statement is, if you are not a teenager, then you are not 13 years old. That statement is true. So that is how you do conditional statements. Now use this in your geometry class.